Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of The Bullet. My name is Paul Lathrop. I'm the Deputy Director of New Media for the Second Amendment Foundation. Excuse me. Joining me today, the next generation of Bassmasters champions, Charlie Cook from Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Just an inside joke off some pre-show conversation we had. Charlie, thanks for coming along for the ride today, man.
Thank you very much. A Bass Master will be an unbelievable title for me because I don't like fish.
What's wrong with the band Fish? I mean,
yeah, nothing's too wrong with the band Fish, but yeah, I was. Oh my God, I hate admitting this. I was smacked with a fish when I was a kid, and I've taken it out against all fish ever since then.
Okay.
So, but I am a good little doobie. Like when my kids were in second grade and they needed a chaperone to go to the aquarium, I went. So, you know, I still buck up when I need to. But doing what you were doing, going swimming with the fishes, yeah, no, I'm good. I am good.
You know what? I absolutely fell in love with being in the water when I was on vacation. More about that at another time. But yeah, I went into Rob Morris's world and fell in love with it. Let's put it that way. Want to remind everybody as we get started, if you want to comment on and get your comment on the air so Charlie and I can talk about it or maybe make fun of you or something like that, go ahead and comment on either the live Facebook or YouTube video. If you're catching us anywhere else on Rumble, on Getter, on OpsLens, anywhere else, just go ahead and go to Twitter, tweet with the hashtag #TheBullet. We'll get those. We'll get them up as well. I need to make sure I've got all my social media connected, and I do. And let's go ahead and get started. Our first story, Charlie. This one really I caught this one on Saturday. This caught me off guard. All of the people in Oregon are not anti-gun. That's proved by this story off of originalnewsbreak.com. A proposal to allow Oregonians to carry concealed firearms without a permit has been submitted to the Oregon State Secretary of State's office. The petition, titled "Making It Legal to Carry Concealed Firearms Without a Permit a Right," argues that requiring a permit before a person can carry a gun is against the Constitution. Chair of the Marion County Republicans, Joel Pawlowski, initiated the proposal. The draft text of the petition includes new language for Section 27, Article 1 of the Oregon State Constitution, stating that the right to carry a concealed firearm without a permit is included in the right described in the section. In addition, the chief petitioners will receive a signature sheet template to begin collecting at least 1,000 sponsorship signatures required to receive a ballot title from the Oregon Attorney General's office. A couple things on this. I looked up Marion County. That's just south of Portland. Largest city in that county is Salem. And it's a rather large in-area county, but it's only got about 300,000 residents in the whole county. The 1,000 signatures has to come anywhere throughout the state. And ballot initiatives, thank goodness we do not have many in South Dakota, but those are generally, from what my experience, when the time I lived in California, where they have a ton of them, those are big money efforts to try and get laws in place going aside from the legislature. And honestly, Charlie, I think getting good gun laws on the West Coast is going to take ballot initiatives. What do you think?
I think it is too. I mean, I think it's great to hear that not everybody in Oregon is out of their gourd. You know what I mean? What we've seen from them for the last couple of years is all of the insanity of the riots that they had in 2020, and it's great to see that somebody's coming out of this and has a little bit of common sense. It might be sort of a big push for them to go from everything that they've had in Oregon recently to go into having permitless carry, but God bless them, man. You got to take those big steps, and you got to aim big if you're going to go for it.
I don't think it'll be a real problem to get. I should Google this here real fast, but I don't think. All right, I don't think it'll be a hard challenge to get 1,000 signatures from registered voters in Oregon. Right now, it looks like I'm trying. Doggone it! Let me try one more search here.
I mean, 1,000 signatures really should not. I know it sounds like a lot, but it shouldn't be. You know, I mean, if the Salem has 300,000 people,
yeah,
it should be pretty simple to get 1,000 signatures right in that city. Honestly, you know, it'd be really cool is if our buddy Derek LeBlanc got behind this and he started telling people about this and getting signatures at his events when he's teaching kids gun safety. Tell the parents about it and say, hey, listen, you guys need to sign this. You need to get on board with this and support Joel Pulaski here.
yeah. Just pulled up Oregon population 4.2 million in 2020. That's up 10.6% from 10 years before that. So Oregon has 1,000 signatures out of 4.2 million should not be a big deal. Next one, this one, I guess sign of the times. I guess I could say. This one comes off of WashingtonExaminer.com. Believe it or not, I was able to get all the ads to come down to actually read the article. New Orleans prosecutor, a former Innocence Project lawyer named Emily Maw, is currently serving as an assistant district attorney, and it's going about as well as you would expect. Maw is now the focus of controversy for declining to press charges against at least 15 gun crimes that occurred over the Mardi Gras season. These crimes included at least one egregious case in which the defendant was carrying around a machine gun, a federal crime that carries a lengthy prison sentence. That particular defendant had prior convictions, according to local news reports. Yet instead of prosecuting these crimes, Maw let the defendants off the hook on the condition they surrender their guns. Dude, it's just another case of the gun is the problem, not the criminal. And these things never end well.
They never do. So let's see. We have 15 people go out and wave guns around and shoot on Mardi Gras, and it's the gun's fault. It's not the gun's fault. And obviously this guy that had the machine gun, which I've become one of these guys. I've seen enough of these stories. I get a little bit leery when they talk about machine guns. Like, did they have a machine gun, or did he have something that looked like an AR, or did he have something with a pistol brace, or did he have a Glock with a Glock 18 with a switch on it? Something he got from the Facebook group. I don't know. So I'm always a little leery about how they phrase these things. But he had prior convictions, which meant he's familiar to the judicial system. That's code for he's a criminal and he's been to court before, and they let him out before, so they're going to let him out again. I didn't get a chance to look up what the Innocence Project is, but it sounds like something where they take criminals and say the criminals aren't really criminals. They're a product of their environment or whatever.
What the Innocence Project is they look over cases, and it's if a criminal says they've been wrongly convicted, they can get a hold of the Innocence Project. And I actually have a lot of respect for this group, because they will go through and they will, if the person they believe truly is innocent, they'll look for things like new DNA evidence or possibly things that have been overlooked, and they'll give these people that have been falsely convicted a new lease on life by getting them out of jail. I've seen several instances where people have served 20, 30 years, and the Innocence Project got behind them, brought new evidence in, and got the convictions overturned, got them released. So I do have a lot of respect for the Innocence Project itself. It's just individuals that
that commit the crimes that can't legally possess them anyway.
Yes.
This is the exhausting thing, and this is, when do you and I get sick and tired of this? When because they will, these people with records, prior convictions, they will get a gun illegally. They will go out. They will celebrate a Mardi Gras. Probably had a couple of drinks in them. They will shoot in the air. They will. They will probably do this sort of stuff, and then they'll get let go. But if you or I did one thing that was foolish, if we carried into a place where we're not supposed to carry, maybe they have a sign, maybe it's not legal for us to carry, they will put us in they will put us in jail as if we're in prison, as if we're a hardened criminal.
Yep.
And there's nothing that they would do to say, well, listen, you know what? Charlie carried a gun into a gun-free zone. Let's throw the book at him. He needs to go to jail. He needs to go away for years and years and years.
An example out of it.
And we need to make an example of him. Exactly. What has he done before? Nothing. He's done absolutely nothing. He hasn't even had a speeding ticket for several years, which is lucky. But let's throw the book at this guy instead of we'll let the criminal go and we'll put Charlie in jail.
Thankfully, for things like speeding, there is an exceedingly short statute of limitations. So
this is good.
Right.
I mean, we see this all the time too. So this is ridiculous.
One we don't see very often. It happens once a year for about the last 3 years, but this is off WFIN.com. After years of trying to pass a bill to allow people to carry concealed guns in Nebraska without a permit, conservative lawmakers are on the cusp of doing so, thanks in part to the defection of 2 Democratic Omaha senators, the only black lawmakers in the body, who cited racial disparity in enforcing gun laws in their districts. After 3 days of debate, lawmakers voted 36-12 on Friday to advance the bill. It must survive 2 more rounds of debate to pass. I talked with John Anderson, who is the media director for Nebraska Firearms Association. He's also the guy behind the Get Off My Lawn podcast. And he thinks it's really, really going to happen this year. The big hurdle was the one they just had, that this was the 8 hours of debate they had to get through. Now the next one is 4 hours debate. The one after that is 2 hours of debate. And he doesn't think that opposition is going to carry the day this time. He thinks it's actually going to get through. And it really looks like Nebraska is going to become number 26, Charlie.
That would be really cool. Particularly since we've been hoping and thinking Florida is going to be number 26. It'll be nice if somebody comes in and sweeps it up from them. That'll be kind of fun.
Well, and not only that, it's at our next. Let's go ahead and we're cool on comments. Let me go ahead. And by the way, again, we thrive on comments here. We love getting comments in, and we'd love to talk about them. I was only kidding about making fun of you, but if you say something really insane, we might. But our next story, the reason that permitless carry is getting a hard time going through in Florida is because of open carry activists. They're saying that it isn't constitutional carry because you cannot open carry. They want the whole pie, not just a slice. Got this one off of Truth About Guns today. Open carry supporters have been told by Republicans and leaders in the legislature the only way open carry could be added to the list of pending bills is if the governor came out in favor of it. Well, Gun Owners of America's Florida director and Truth About Guns contributor Luis Valdez figured the best way to find out what DeSantis thinks about open carry is to ask him directly. So he bought a copy of the governor's new book and stood in line for 2 hours, good on you, dude, at a book signing event in Jacksonville. As DeSantis was signing the book for Valdez, he asked him about open carry, and DeSantis' reply was, yeah, absolutely. I don't think the legislature are going to do it, but I would absolutely support it. I got that one off the Truth About Guns. So DeSantis necessarily isn't against permitless open carry. It's just I think this is a case of the legislature says the governor doesn't want it. The governor says the legislature doesn't want it. They're just passing the buck back and forth. And meanwhile, the open carry guys are saying, look, if we don't get it, we don't want anybody to have it, and it's screwing everything up.
This is the whole can't we just get along? Like, the bigger picture stuff is, okay, so you can't open carry. I think I heard you talk last week about your thing on open carry. I'm not an open carry guy, even when it's even when it's legal. I'm not for it. I'm one of these guys that's a firm believer that it makes you a target if you are someplace and somebody commits a crime or wants to rob the bank, whatever. I always think that you're going to be the first person that gets shot, and I like to be a little conservative on that and protect myself and not be the first person that gets shot. So I'm not a fan of open carry. I think the only time that I've open carried outside of a shooting range is at a Florida Carry event a couple years ago. It was the second speaker event that Kevin Sona did, and I went down and I open carried. I could open carry to the event, I could open carry at the event, and I can open carry after the event. But after the event, back to Kevin's place, and then Kevin and I went and filmed a show afterwards, and I couldn't carry after that. So I just left the loaded gun in the console of the car, and I carried my empty holster. That seems really weird, too.
Yeah. The open carry versus concealed carry, I am very much in the concealed carry camp. I wasn't until my issue in Nebraska, 6 or 7 years ago now. But another thing that's not often touched on, the reason I got out of trouble is because the person that accused me falsely of doing something said that my gun was a large chrome revolver, and what the police recovered from me was a rock stock black Glock. So
there we go. So people can be dishonest and try to get up folks into trouble, and push the false narrative that the people are breaking the laws and whatever, doing illegal things.
If they can see and describe your gun, they can say, look, he's out waving a big chrome revolver. And if they come up to a guy with a big chrome revolver that's open carrying, that's what's called
makes a little
cause. Yeah,
right. Makes it a little easier for his side.
Yeah, exactly. However, if you're concealed carrying a Glock 43, say for instance, that's gonna a small self-defense semi-auto is not necessarily a big chrome revolver.
Correct.
So what we're this is Monday, and of course Monday I've got to turn around quickly and do at the top of the next hour I've got to do Polite Society podcast. Charlie, what's going on in the world of riding shotgun with Charlie, and is there anything you want to plug, bud?
Well, I have been. It's actually been a month since I've been on the show. I think the last time I was on it was in January, and I went down to Virginia and filmed a couple shows. And then the following weekend, I went down to the Great American Outdoor Show and trolled that with John Petrolino, and we ran into a bunch of our friends, Tony Simon and whatnot. And so that was really cool. And then I've been teaching classes. Classes have been picking up, which is good. So more people want to get their license to carry. So that is a wonderful thing. And then I went to the Gun Owners Action League is the pro-gun group here in Massachusetts, and they had a seminar on the Massachusetts gun laws and how to be an advocate. And one of the speakers that was there was Carrie Ann Auclair, who is one of our new people with the Polite Society podcast. So she went up and talked about what she does with the DC Project. And I met a gal there that was an instructor outside of Philadelphia, and I struck up a friendship with her, and I went down and filmed a show with her. So I have been on the go, even though I haven't been around and been on with you and on the Bullet and on Polite Society. I've still been busting my tail.
Well, and it's been 6 weeks since you've been on the Bullet. 4 weeks ago, a month ago, John Petrolino took your slot when you had to be out for, I believe it
I was we, it was the Great American Outdoor Show. I had I wasn't going to make it back in time to be able to do the shows. John was able to make it back, so he could fill in for me, which was really cool. And then the next one, you were underwater.
Yeah, I was down in the Virgin Islands, absolutely. So
I got to tell you, I absolutely love the Kathy Jackson hat that you got on there.
Yeah.
I was checking it out. I'm like, I know that logo. I know that logo. I know that logo. I'm just racking my brain. I'm like, where have I seen that? I knew it wasn't the old cartoon Top Cat.
No. Let me actually, and I'm going to put this in the comments section here, both on Facebook and YouTube. For anybody that's interested, open plug, Kathy Jackson is a friend of mine. She lives in the Virgin Islands now. I did see her while I was down there. I consider her a friend, and we had when we went down there, we met up a couple times. She actually helped me get into snorkeling, but she wrote a book, and I consider it a must-read for anybody that is a gun owner. It's the title's A Cornered Cat, A Woman's Guide to Concealed Carry. But guess what? Guys get a lot out of it too. I got a lot out of it. I have a signed hard copy around here. I have the Kindle version and I have the audio book. So I do recommend you read. I've read it multiple times myself. I would recommend anybody catching this go check out Kathy's book and get it and read through it. All right. Well,
I bought a copy of her book for a girl I was dating, and I couldn't get her to read it, and we're not dating anymore.
Oh.
So.
Well, it's a good opportunity for Charlie to read it then.
I know, right? I like buying books more than I like reading books, and this is a problem.
All right. Well, everybody, we're going to go ahead. We're going to call it here. We're a little bit early, but I want to get a head start in getting turned around for the Polite Society podcast. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see